Oh, wait, no longer. Greatness has arrived. Welcome to episode 292 of The Trophy Room, a PlayStation podcast made by the players for the players. I'm your host, Joseph, aka Mr. Badbit, and it is here where me and my best friend Kyle talk about the latest and the greatest in all things PlayStation. Of course, this week, we'll be chatting about the possible remaster/remake of a 5-year-old PlayStation first-party game. We're going to be talking about Triple H. That's right, handsome Herman Hulst chatting about the future of the PlayStation lineup. CD Projekt Red making all the games, and will we finally be getting good on the big screen? All that and so much more. But with all that said, and with all that out of the way, the greatest co-host, whoever is, whoever will be, Mr. Kyle Stevenson, how are you, sir?
Spaghetti for brains, really,
Yes.
Joe? You had to just, do your trash talk for our video game trivia battle, which you can find on youtube.com/Jacob McCourt, probably as of this recording.
Yeah.
You just had to post that trash talk right before we do this recording.
Yep.
So I am frazzled.
Oh,
it feels
frazzled.
like I feel like I have meatballs just rolling around in my brain.
That would make sense. That would make sense.
How dare you?
Twitch.tv.
I was like, all right, I'm ready. I know Joe's quick on his feet.
Yep.
I know he can hurl the insults and be very creative with it. Nope, I'm just a big dum-dum with spaghetti for brains. I was very proud for my trash talk. I was like, yes, I got PlayStation references.
Yep.
You got to, come on. That abandoned line was pretty good.
I didn't even listen to it.
You suck.
I was just like, this is my birthday today. So first off, it's my birthday.
It was your birthday.
Everybody clap. Well, like for this week, it's.
Oh, come on. You do the week birthday celebration?
But well, for the pot, like the listeners don't
for
know.
the podcast. Sure.
It's my birthday.
Yes. Happy birthday.
Thank you. I was sick during it. I'm still sick
I
now.
know.
So if you hear me, I'm a little nasally, sniffles, maybe you hear a cough here or there.
Yeah.
Understand. I'm under the weather. I'm dying on the inside and on the outside. But I was just like, I'm gonna let Kyle stew on this, make sure he feels like he won for a good 24 hours, and then just drop a little something there.
Sure.
You know? That was my...
You also make it sound like I didn't have a very heartfelt message to you on your birthday.
Oh, yeah. No. First off,
okay.
Everybody... Can I just say something? Real talk for a second. Let's get real. Yeah. I've been dealing with a lot on, the real life end. And thank you, everybody, for the hundreds of messages, kind words, DMs, all of it. Seriously, even some gifts. Some people way too generous. Scribbles and bits. Thank you. Seriously, that meant a lot. I was up late last night just thinking about the impact that we've had on people. And you're so unaware of it until, I don't know, something as small as a birthday happens, and you just see so many people throwing references at us and all that. So it's honestly, thank you all so much, because I was going through it. I feel like after your 21st birthday, your birthdays get sadder and sadder.
100,000%. Yes.
Yeah, it's like you're just TikTok to the end, and really this one was pretty damn special because of just all the love and support. So thank you all so much. But I'm also really disturbed. The internet's thirst for Mario and his lack of an ass.
Of rear end. Yeah.
Yeah. Of a rump. So first and foremost, the Mario, trailer as of this podcast is out. It's live. I'm assuming it's going to be great because I saw the poster. Looks wonderful.
Yeah.
Looks fun. Looks whimsical. Everybody's like, Mario's butt though. I'm like, why are we zoning in on Mario's butt?
But then if you really, I saw a screenshot comparison of the poster.
Of butt?
Yeah, the poster to one of the games, and his butt is like his entire back. It's weird.
Okay, so
it's up to his shoulder blades. It's very weirdly placed.
Okay, well, I can't say that I look,
It was a random tweet. I didn't go search after it.
I got you. You didn't type on Twitter hashtag Mario's rump.
Butt comparison. No, did not do that. Where's the Digital Foundry side by side? You know what I'm saying? I didn't do that.
Oh, I would love a nice smooth British voice over just pixels.
Here it is in
butt.
4K and 8K.
Real talk, Kyle. Are you excited for this Mario movie?
Not really.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm going to see it.
Sure.
But and it's not the voice cast or anything about it. It's just like, I don't know. I'd much rather see them try take another crack at a live action Mario movie.
Oh God, no!
I'd be so much more interested in that.
Who would be the live version of Mario?
Chris Pratt.
Don't change it. Don't change it all. It's just...
Obviously, it's Danny DeVito. What are you talking about?
No, that's true. It's like Danny DeVito and like, I don't know, who would be Luigi? What, like Christopher Walken? Wait, who?
Glenn Howerton.
Oh God.
Always Sunny. Just make it Always Sunny in Mario.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So real talk, I'm actually really excited for this trailer. I listen, as much as I clown Mario, I do have a love for, you know, the red little plumber. Super Mario World's the reason why I fell in love with games. So
yeah,
to me, I'm expecting a kids movie.
100%.
A movie made for children. So Twitter, relax.
Yeah, calm
Elon,
down, please.
Relax. I don't want to hear your thoughts. Last person want to hear about it, okay?
Never again.
Please. But like, I'm just excited to see what they're able to do with this character, man. He's beloved, and I'm not gonna Chris Pratt shame the voice cast, because no matter who's gonna voice him, it's gonna be weird. And I think 100%. For the most part, the cast has me intrigued. So like the chick who's
Michael
playing
Key? Are you kidding me? Yes,
as
please.
Toad, yes.
Is he all the Toads? I wish.
If it's oh my God, yes. He should be all the Toads. Yeah. Honestly, now that's the bar. You just said
exactly,
it.
Right?
But like the voice cast's pretty great, so I'm gonna
Jack
give
Black
it.
Is Bowser, right?
Oh my God, I did not know that. That's awesome.
I'm pretty sure he's Bowser. Let me double check.
Yeah, so you know, I'm excited for it because I'm just, again, I want to see my childhood for a little bit. And I think Illumination has done a great job with the poster alone of just illustrating this is Mario. And we're not deviating. We're not going to put, you know, weird guys in suits, make it live action, and there's raptor people. No, this is going to be something else. So I'm fun.
Jack Black is indeed Bowser.
Oh, yes. I love Jack
Black.
And
in an interview last year on some YouTube channel, the title of this YouTube channel was a video on Jack Black on the movie goes, "I'm gonna eat Chris Pratt whole."
and I'm in.
Yeah, just like that. I'm okay. I'm kind of in.
100%.
And Charlie Day is Luigi. Come on,
it's picture perfect.
It's so good.
That is actually, I believe, the perfect casting. Charlie Day as Luigi.
Yep.
Oh my God, it's good. Good. I'm in for a fun time. That said, of course, a little bit of housekeeping before we get on into the news here. First and foremost, it's been a week for me, y'all. So I did not update the Patreon. My apologies. I'll get on that. But for people who upped last week, guess what? You're getting a double shout out. So good on you. Good on y'all. Of course, this podcast wouldn't be possible without the amazing generosity of our viewers out there and listeners over at patreon.com/PSRefreeman. It's the reason why we look so good, we sound so great. It's because of your generosity. So if you ever got you through a long car ride, tough day at work, whatever your situation is, even if it's just $1 our way, it comes with great appreciation. So thank you all so much. And I want to thank our newest members, Sith Lord 92 at the gold tier, Millennial Falcon Gaming at the gold tier, N Johnson at the silver plus tier, Lamb Chop 93 at the silver tier, Winter Gamer, we activated him, at the bronze tier. I want to thank our platinum producers, Todd Burowitz and Toxic. I want to thank our gold members, Too Soon, Gavin Gottfried, Jose Jimenez, Jedi Master Ren, Metal Kirby, Stephen Flesh, Doth Simon the Pie Man, Chaotic Monkey, Enigma, and Strubles and Bits. I want to thank our silver members, Awesome Dave, Hyde Indoors, Nakachaka, Marcus O'Neill, JB the Purple Monkey, Janice Von Metal, Tim Olf, Justin Rodriguez, Cypher Primus, Counter Logan, Brunson Zachary, K Grim, Rick Arrington, Dewane Raksha, The Good Sir, Mr. and Mrs. Nasty Boots, Stralish, Foolish Fuji, Any Day Now, Kevin Mitchell, Kevin Diaz, The Lord Commander Corgi, Elo 2032, Jinx, the 39th, Bubble Boy N7, Jesse Garcia, Hambone, The Aztec King, Stone Cold, E.T., Astronaut Jr., not to be mistaken with Astronaut Senior, or Astronaut the Third, Green Gorilla Gamer, Katie Stubbs, M9 Prime, Sean McKenzie, N Johnson, Final Fan XZ, Enigma, and Drozo, and Vontae Tatted. Thank you all so much for amazing patronage. And, Kyle,
Whew.
I did not cough one bit there.
Hey, you did great.
Patreon healed me.
Whoa.
The power of generosity healed my soul. Seriously, we're doing some really special stuff over there, and it's because of your generosity over at Patreon that we're not shelling carpets or, I don't know, home grooming supplies. So it really does help us out. That's all that said, Kyle. With all that out of the way, it is finally time to square up the news.
First bit of news to be squared up comes from Alex Coe over at MP First. Horizon Zero Dawn Remake / Remaster in the works for PS5. Horizon multiplayer game in development. While we just got a remake for The Last of Us, it looks like PlayStation may not be quite done with remakes just yet. As a source close to the situation who wishes not to be named has revealed to us that a Horizon Zero Dawn remake is in the works for the PS5. If you thought The Last of Us Part 1 divided players up on whether or not a game needed a remake, prepare yourselves, as it has been revealed to us that PlayStation is now remaking or remastering, details are still unclear, Horizon Zero Dawn, a game that is only 5 years old and had its sequel released earlier this year. Our source didn't elaborate whether or not this was a quote-unquote built from the ground up style remake. However, we were told that the remake features an improved lighting system, overhauled textures and better animations, with new character models to match those found in the sequel, Horizon Forbidden West. Outside of that, we were told there is a big focus on bringing in the accessibility options that the sequel introduced. For gameplay changes themselves, there are some subtle improvements, mostly those being the quality of life improvements the sequel brought. As it turns out, the Zero Dawn Remake Remaster isn't the only Horizon-related project that is in the works, as we also learned from other sources that a team presumed to be Guerrilla Games at PlayStation are currently developing a Horizon online multiplayer game for both the PS5 and PC. Two sources have verified that the project is indeed real, with a third giving some brief details that it may feature a form of co-op. Customization is said to be around the different tribes established in the Horizon franchise. However, we have not been able to verify either that nor the details on whether or not the online would feature any sort of co-op or PvP.
I don't think it divided anyone. I think we're pretty sound on this remaster / remake / whatever this is a bit silly. So King Henry writes in, whoa, okay, I can't wait for this conversation.
I might have a hot take.
King Henry writes in, why? Just why remaster Horizon Zero Dawn? Kyle, let's hear your hot take. I'm excited for this. I thought we'd be in unison here.
So yes, if again, it's still unclear, right?
Okay.
If it's a remake from the ground up or whatever, I'm totally like, that's stupid.
Okay.
Remaster, I am okay with. I'm okay with them going in there and touching up, very similar to The Last of Us PS3 to PS4. Upgrading a little bit. That I am okay with. That is less egregious as long as there's an upgrade path.
All right. So here's the thing.
Yeah.
Upgrade path. So are we thinking this is Ghost of Tsushima to director's cut? Like, is this a director's cut?
That is what I would hope. Okay. I would hope that is the case, and it's not like another full price thing. Especially because I believe Horizon Zero Dawn already got a PS5 patch.
It did. It's 4K and 60 FPS.
So, but like the things that they are talking about, right? Like the character animations in the first game, not that great.
Right. That is a big
that would be a nice little improvement to it. Just better animations as you're going around the world and climbing up rocks, facades, whatever. Those things would be cool. I think the really important thing is, and I saw this from a couple of people on Twitter, I think a lot of people are glossing over the fact is, if this game gets the level of accessibility that PlayStation is putting into games, that alone is worth this kind of project. Because we are big champions of like more people getting to play these incredible games. Right. So if this remake remaster is going to have the full suite of accessibility that The Last of Us is putting in, and God of War and Ratchet and Clank and even Forbidden West, I'm okay with that. Like, I don't need to go buy it. Right. Because like, I don't need the accessibility features. But if that is part of the remaster and then, some better visual, quality of life things as they're talking about, sure, I'm okay with it. It's not the end of the world. It is weird because it is still a very recent game, But
Yeah.
you know, it's fine.
Honestly, I think that was a terrific sales pitch. And I think, look, we're working with a picture that's not all the way done yet, right?
Especially right off the heels of whatever The Last of Us Part 1 discourse was.
Exactly. So it really does feel like the line of like, you know, I think I'm out, they keep pulling me back in.
Yeah,
here.
exactly.
Because you're right. I think if this is a remake, this is silly and it's outrageous. Just right out the gate. You don't need to remake a game that is 5 years old.
Nope. It still looks pretty good.
And it looks great. It holds up so damn well. And I do believe that there should be a reason why, you know, a sequel exists, more so than just expanding the story. For me, like, yeah, I want the improvements from Forbidden West to be in Forbidden West and not be in Zero Dawn, so that I could kind of appreciate the sequel for, you know, the cues that they've taken. Not
you said that about the Last of Us remake as well.
Yeah,
you didn't want them to add a prone and, like, you know, the rope swing, whatever, because it would feel weird.
It would feel weird. It would feel out of place. And how much, again, are we reworking the world, and how much is then this just a new game entirely, right?
Yeah.
You know, people fail to grasp that. But to me, a remaster, it's also unneeded. The game looks great. It's 4K. It's 60 FPS. I believe it plays great. I love Horizon Zero Dawn. It's the reason why this show exists. It's only a 5-year jump, and I don't think the difference is that stark from Last of Us PS3 to, you know, Last of Us Part 2.
Agreed. Yeah.
And I think you make a great argument of, if this is a director's cut, if this is a $10, $20 upgrade, fine. I could just see in my head the articles already where it's like, PlayStation Plus version of this game isn't compatible with this upgrade.
Oh, 100%. Like, yes.
Like all those stories,
yeah.
Just, it's nightmare fuel for me. Mm-hmm. So to me, it's, I think for accessibility, Kyle, I think you made a really strong argument, because it's not like you can post, you know, accessibility features, cut and paste from Forbidden West or from any game, cut paste into another. That's not how it works. And there's way more hoops to jump through. So I think on that front, yeah, I think you made a great argument why this remaster can exist. And I think the one thing that we miss as well is, like, not everything has to be for us.
Exactly.
So the one thing that I'd like to argue with this front is, my brother watched the Last of Us trailer on HBO. You know what he did immediately after watching?
Yeah, I believe he asked you, do you have this game?
Yeah. And I say yes. He's like, can we share this? Can I have this? I'm like, absolutely. He's a new fan of The Last of Us. He can now not shut up about it. He's not going, he's like, how are they going to fit one season into this game? I'm like, right? It's really good. He's like, dude, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
So, you know, there are people, believe it or not, outside this game that are going to experience it for the first time because of the Horizon show.
Exactly. I was going to bring that up eventually. Like, yeah, there is a very similar thing. Horizon coming to Netflix.
Yep. Netflix.
So, like, yeah, why not have a upgraded quote unquote version of the game that started it all?
And so by that time, with this show coming out, we don't know when this game is going to come out.
Exactly.
By the way, this remaster.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, and at this point, we can confirm it's a remaster. It's not a remake. But we don't know if this is a 2023 project or even 2024. So there are just a lot of question marks we still don't know. But I as much as this is an unneeded and excess from Sony, I definitely agree there. To me, I just feel like I feel like we're often, we go for the jugular all the time for these, like, why does this exist? And we just flame war everything. I just don't feel like
it's very much like, yeah. So I think my new philosophy is I'm just not going to tweet about these things because it's only going to bring more anger and frustration to me.
Yes.
So I will talk about it on the show and any show, because, like, that is, I think, the forum for it. I feel like if I just tweet about it, I'm gonna get other people that yell at me like, "Well, you're part of the problem, Kyle?
Yeah.
Like, don't you see how bad this is?" And to your point, people are just so stuck in their own bubble.
Yes.
They're like, everything is only just for me. Yeah. So if I disagree with it, that means it is fundamentally wrong. Yes. And that thought process right there is fundamentally wrong.
Yeah. And for me, it's like, yeah, I think this is egregious. I think this is a cash grab because, again, we're working with assumptions. So, like, I can't assume anything less than this is a $70 game. And if this is the case, just like how Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut was a $70 game and Death Stranding Director's Cut was a $70 game, I can assume this is going to be a full price product. Yeah, I think it's egregious. Yeah, I think it's a bit scummy. And guess what I'm just going to do? I'm not going to buy it.
Counterpoint.
Yeah.
What if this remaster has the multiplayer component with it? And is that how they kind of be like that's how they're going to try to get your money for this remaster is including basically the reverse Last of Us, right? Adding a multiplayer instead of factions away.
Yeah, like as much as I love Ghost of Tsushima Legends, and I think it's a fantastic mode, there's a lot you could build off of it. I'm not buying Ghost of Tsushima for that mode.
Fair.
And there is a standalone mode, so I would assume there would be a standalone version.
I would too. Yeah.
Even if that's the case, I still wouldn't get it because I want the full experience of that thing. Like for me, just throwing together a co-op mode or whatever isn't enough. I want that multiplayer experience to be a full-fledged thing. That's what I want to see. So I don't want it to be just some, for lack of better words, toss-in experience. I want this to be the full experience for me because I'm actually really excited, Kyle, for the multiplayer thing. Like I love how Horizon's expanding. Like it's not just Aloy's story. We're seeing something different in VR. Now let's see what they can do with this multiplayer game, which we talked about last year, but I'm still thinking like this is a Monster Hunter game. Yeah,
you don't want any single player game to have force-fed multiplayer in it, similar to God of War Ascension. We know how that turned out, and even to some extent, like Arkham Origins had multiplayer in it, which was decent from what I heard. But it's just like, to me personally, use those resources for the single player thing and make sure that is the best it possibly can be.
Yeah. Make sure both experiences are the best that they can be.
Yes.
Look, we're going to talk about it a little earlier, but or a little later, that PlayStation's broadening their lineup. They can broaden it with their IP as well. So give us full experiences of these different, genres within these IP. I think that's really exciting. Now, that said, now our thoughts on the remaster. I think it's silly. I would argue I don't think it should exist, but it will. And it will sell regardless how I think about it. Spider CC writes in, just like you can too if you tweet at us at PS Trophy Room or you join our Trophy Room Discord server. They write, I love Horizon Zero Dawn, but I feel like there are older games that are more deserving of a remaster. Looking at you, Resistance Trilogy, I know it's sitting right there. If Sony said, Joe and Kyle, pick a game to be remade or remastered, and you pick the studio, what would your choices be? Kyle, Bloodborne is sitting right there. You have Blue Point sitting right there, probably making Metal Gear. But just tell him to take a break. It's right there. Yeah. Bloodborne. Here you go. And again, the memes are hilarious on this too, because it's like, all we're asking is for a 60 FPS thing.
That really is it, right?
That's all. I don't even care if it's 720p, Kyle. Papa needs his fix.
Yeah. I get it.
But there's just so many. Here's the thing, Kyle. So many other PlayStation games deserve a remaster, touch-up, remake than this.
Yes. Yeah. I was Spider brought up Resistance, so I wasn't going to go there. But I've spoken about it before. Legend of Dragoon needs to be a remake, remaster, anything. Shout out to Brave Fencer Musashi, which is a PS1 classic in my opinion. The game that I rented constantly at Blockbuster. That I would love to get a remaster.
Yeah.
There's so many hidden gems that were only on PlayStation, like Tumba and a Croc, right? Legend
Jack
of Gobos.
3.
Jack. Oh my god. Yeah. Oh yeah. Give me.
Just Jack 3 though.
Just Jack 3. That was the GTA style one, right?
Yep.
I didn't play that one.
That's the only one I was allowed to play.
Yeah. There's a lot in PlayStation's lineup that I think could do well with a remaster remake, but I will also go as far to say that I don't want PlayStation to just turn into a remaster remake kind of thing.
And it feels like at this point you're going to get one at least once a year,
and that's I guess so. I guess I'm okay with that, but I would really truly. You know what? I'm not even going to say it because I don't want to start that whole thing.
No, just say it.
I'd rather them, just make new things.
Fair.
But I feel like it would also be different if we weren't just, mentally and emotionally beat down over the discourse over Last of Us Part 1. I feel like if that whole internet drama and unnecessary yelling at each other over a thing we should be happy about, or like just
indifferent,
just the hobby that we love, right? That took so much out of me personally, and just everyone. Like
the discourse has been so toxic,
so dumb,
because we let like fanboys in the conversations, and we really shouldn't. We should be shunning them and not joining their Twitter spaces personally. Like that's what we should be doing. I'm sorry, it's like I call them out every other week, but like it's true. Like let's relax a little bit. We have to stop giving those conversations oxygen, because I feel like the other thing that's missing here is if we had a PlayStation showcase already, this would not even be like the first topic. This would be a flash news thing.
100%.
So the fact that at the end of the day, the only thing that realistically like most people care about is going to be Wolverine, Spider-Man for next year, quote unquote, maybe, and this, it's like oof.
Yeah.
All right, and that's why this stings more than I feel like it should be. But I agree with everybody. I don't think this kind of needs to be a thing or exist. It's a fine game as it is. So whatever. And how I'm going to vote with is buy my wallet.
Yeah. Last question before we move on.
Okay.
Do you think this would have gone differently if this wasn't like leaked out? If we were watching a showcase, right? And they were like, here is a Horizon Zero Dawn Remaster.
Right.
And we get to see it, right? We're not just trying to figure out our understanding over
it would go over better.
To a story. It would go over better, right? It's still not wouldn't be great, but it would go over better.
We'd be like, why is this here? But it's there because context, right? What's it surrounded by? The new experiences or the reimagined experiences. Like that's.
So I'm just saying, I'm kind of done with leaks or sources talking about it. Like,
you want to fight Jeff Grubb about it?
Sure.
All right, Jeff Grubb, come on the show. Fight.
Let's have a friendly fight.
Yeah, fight Mr. K-Sup. He's weak in the knees. You got to go.
Again, spaghetti for brains. It's fine.
That said, Kyle, listen. This next news story is massive. So I put all the things here because I feel like, honestly, everything is worth talking about. So take it away, sir.
Steven Totillo from Axios writes, PlayStation to broaden lineup, but won't abandon roots, studio chief says. Sony PlayStation is diversifying the types of games it makes, but will not neglect its core strength of single-player narrative adventures. PlayStation Studios chief Herman Hulst tells Axios why it matters. Winning gaming hardware generations by selling the most consoles is no longer enough for PlayStation. While it entered a new console cycle with the 2020 launch of the PlayStation 5, Sony has also begun expanding into PC and mobile development. What they're saying, quote, we have a history and a reputation for building these incredible narrative-driven single-player games, such as The Last of Us and Horizon and the upcoming God of War Ragnarok, Hulst says, chatting via video conference from his office in Amsterdam. The PlayStation Studios head is centrally located to orchestrate expansion efforts, coordinating the work of some 4,000 developers across 19 studios from Japan to California. Quote, we're also diversifying now, and we have stood up 12 projects in total in the live ops multiplayer space, end quote. Live ops or live service games are usually multiplayer and designed for years of post-release content that can generate additional revenue. Games such as Epic's Fortnite and EA's Apex Legends are among the industry's biggest hits, but Sony has had scant success in the category. Most of Sony's live games haven't been announced yet and are deep in development. They'll come from newly acquired teams such as Haven Studios, partners such as Firewalk, and even Sony's internal teams that are best known for single-player games, Hull says. They won't all be original intellectual property, Hull says, but, quote, we're not excluding bringing some of our beloved existing franchises into live games, end quote. Traditional PlayStation fans shouldn't fret. The blockbuster single-player narrative games Sony regularly wins awards for aren't going away. Many of Sony's top developers like making them and will continue to do so, the studio chief says. Quote, some of our biggest titles in the single-player narrative-driven space are also our most profitable titles, end quote. Sony is also courting PC and mobile markets. The latter is nearly double console and global revenue, according to research firm Newzoo. On PC, it has released 4 former PS4 games to robust sales, with more coming. Mobile is going slower, with no titles announced but obvious ambition. Hulst says Sony plans to build up its internal capability to make mobile games. Will work with external partners and refers to recently purchased Savage Game Studios as Sony's quote-unquote first acquisition for its mobile group. Sony may also still make games for the PS4, despite only having PS5 exclusive console games announced beyond 2022. Quote, we certainly don't want to forget the millions of active players on PS4, and we want to ensure there are great games for them as well, Hull says. We're evaluating it on a case-by-case basis. Sony's moves come as costs rise for creating blockbuster games. Quote, most of the bigger teams have grown in recent years, Hulst acknowledges. Bringing titles to PC for additional sales has helped. It allows us to continue to invest even deeper into their projects. Scrutiny over how blockbuster games are made has intensified as well. Numerous investigative reports about the industry in recent years described overworked developers crunching long hours to an unhealthy degree, including at flagship Sony studio Naughty Dog. Quote, I want to look at our professionals as people that can have balanced long-term careers with proper career progression, Hulst says. Hulst says his teams are trying to tackle the issue with nuance. He floated that an experienced art director might decide they want to work a Saturday to polish something. Quote, am I going to say no? Well, it's a bit more complex because what if his entire team then feels obliged to also go in? So what that means is that we need to have that conversation with the art director and say, that's about the game, but there's also your team, end quote. In July, developer for Naughty Dog's remake of the acclaimed Last of Us tweeted that the game was their first crunch-free experience in their career, praising changes at the studio.
Ooh-wee, Kyle, that was a lot. That was a long read. And again, a lot of it, there's just so much stuff here out of all these little quotes out of PlayStation. So I want, and out of Herman Hulst, AAA, or Triple H, handsome Herman Hulst. I just love the joke, and I felt like I should kill it there. I don't know why. So, yeah, let's talk about how PlayStation is changing. So the first thing I want to mention is the 12 projects in total that are live ops, games as service in the multiplayer space. And Herman saying, listen, these games will exist, and they will exist in many forms. But single player games, they're still our bread and butter. That's not changing. So what do you feel about their broadening of bringing in more games as service games? Do you feel like, Herman Hulst, that's all talk? Or do you feel like there's something there? Where you see like teams like Haven Studios working on new stuff. Firewalk is working on new stuff. Deviation is probably working on some new multiplayer stuff. You know, XDev is probably a big arm in this games as service lineup. But them kind of going, yeah, Naughty Dog will have one. Guerrilla maybe. But single player games will put us on the map. They'll still be there. Do you have some comfort there, Kyle?
100%. I feel like Herman has listened to me talk on this show about being worried of these notoriously single player experiences that I love to play on PlayStation that the not being forced to do live service games, but taking time away from the thing I enjoy most, and that is single player games.
Mm-hmm.
So this does give me some comfort that that is not lost on them, and that the live service games are just there to what's the word? Add value to the IP just in general.
Yes.
And I know that's what you've been saying and everyone else has been saying, but it just feels good to hear from the head person that is still the strategy.
I like also that it seems like it's coming mostly from the new studios, building teams from the ground up over at Deviation. You're having ex-Treyarch guys, ex-Infinity Ward guys leading the charge there to make a multiplayer game, right? And then you're also seeing teams that have done multiplayer in the past, but have now this super popular IP that is Guerrilla, and test something out there in that universe. Or sorry, that is Horizon, to test it out in that universe, right? Like Guerrilla made some really good multiplayer experiences that
Killzone was pretty great.
Was overshadowed, and now to have this really popular
Shadowfell. Very nice.
Oh, thank you.
Hey.
So to see them now have this uber successful IP and then throw their multiplayer chops behind it, that's exciting at the same exact time. PlayStation knows what put them on the market, right? Like, it's Horizon, it's Ghost, it's Last of Us, it's God of War, and they would be silly to say, hey, let's forget about this all. And they would also be silly to say, hey, we're about to lose Call of Duty, let's just keep making single player stuff.
Sure.
They need to broaden out. They need to go into different places and try to make different things to get people involved. I talk about that Guerrilla, Horizon co-op game. I think it's Monster Hunter like experience. Why? It fits that universe well. And Monster Hunter did amazing. It sold fantastic. I think it sold over 10 plus million units. Like that thing, that IP now has weight and is now so popular. You're seeing people like EA and Koei Tecmo try to tackle it as well because there's something there. So PlayStation doesn't necessarily need to make a Call of Duty killer. They could go into other genres and just test out things. Like, why not make a Dead by Daylight, Last of Us-esque survival horror, multiplayer game, right? Like, you could do different things. That has me excited. Games as service, I get it. Makes everybody a little nervous, but I'm just like you. I don't think this is going to change PlayStation entirely the way we know it. That being said as well,
really quick, Monster Hunter World sold 18.3 million units. And that's as of June 2022.
Yes.
That's pretty. Those are some pretty big numbers there.
The other thing too, when they talk about acquisitions, Savage Game Studios as Sony's first acquisition to the mobile group. Here's what I like. Them going into the mobile space, going, we're going to acquire people. We're going to, not force Naughty Dog to make a Pachinko mobile game. We're going to toss that over to making a division from the ground up rather than forcing our studios to make mobile light experiences. That's also really great. That's what I like to see as well. So that actually concerned me the most. I'm like, how much are you going into mobile and how much energy are you taking away from the studios by doing it?
Sure.
Great. All right, Kyle. Here's the biggest one. PC games.
Uh-huh.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
You won't see PlayStation games on PC at least a year after, for example, God of War Ragnarok will come to PC eventually, but you won't see it until a year out from Ragnarok's release on PlayStation. That makes sense to you?
Yeah.
Why not just rip for me, it's like, why not just rip the cord? Say that's day and date.
Sure. I still think they want to put value for the console owners first and foremost.
Fair enough.
Giving them that year to play and just only play it on the console and then broaden it out a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it, but yeah, eventually that Band-Aid is going to have to get ripped off, I feel like.
And here's the thing that actually excites me, that shows that Sony gets it, is like, for the single player experiences that everybody loves, there's like a year exclusive for PlayStation, right? But for the multiplayer games, they're going to be day one. That's what I've been preaching from the start, because you need that audience. You can't just have it on one ecosystem. That's right.
Yeah.
You need to have it everywhere. And that's where, like, mobile can also fall into this. Like, you can make those experiences. We've seen it with games like Fortnite and even Call of Duty on mobile, and they're practically the same games that Fortnite is the exact same game, whether you're playing it on iPad or you're playing it on a PlayStation or you're playing it on PC. So to me, that shows that PlayStation gets it. They're like, no. Audience is important for multiplayer games. That's where it's important. That really excites me. Kyle, is there anything else here that has you intrigued, that has you hopeful, or even just has you a little bit concerned? Because overall, I feel really confident in what Herman had to say here. And it's really strange how when Herman talks, we're like, okay, I'm optimistic. When Jim Ryan talks, it's like, oh God. Oh God, what's happening?
And that's an interesting dynamic there, because I feel like, at least personally for me, I trust Herman's words a little bit more because he comes from the development side.
Sure.
He's been doing it for so long. Jim, I feel like, is, again, I don't know his history all that well, but like, he's only been in
he's a suit,
like a boardroom, like a suit, CEO kind of person. But the thing that I do really, really love about this article, the game stuff, live service thing, everything is great. I love hearing Herman talk about the workers, the devs, and their lives, and how he is making sure that they're allowed to have their own lives outside of game dev, because and I think that's super important that it's coming from Herman and not on a studio by studio basis. I like that he is overseeing it. He is at the head, and he's going to try his best to make sure that the Naughty Dog Last of Us Part 1 crunch-free experience is that for all PlayStation studios.
Absolutely.
And I really, really love that initiative. And I love that that hypothetical thing about the art director, right? Like, art director might want to come in and do a little bit, but what does that mean for the team? You got to think about the team too, and whether or not you want them to come in on a Saturday, which is generally everyone's kind of like day off for the weekend.
Absolutely.
So I do like that Herman is talking about that and trying to make changes. PlayStation Studios, just all of them in general.
Yeah. Again, it also speaks to the different approach Sony is taking opposed to Microsoft's taking. Because I like what it says, why this matters in this article. Winning hardware generations by selling the most consoles is no longer enough for PlayStation. We're coming to the point where when we're at our best, we sell almost 120 million. When we're at our worst, we sell a little less than 90 million, right? So PlayStation's looking at it going, if we want to expand and grow this organization, we do have to think beyond console. We do have to think about these other avenues in gaming that are massive that we're not in, and ask ourselves, why aren't we in those markets, and what can we do to penetrate those markets? Because that's what can we do differently in the mobile space that is going to break through? Because don't get me wrong, there's still going to be your Uncharted Bejeweled games, but why can't we just toss in some type of narrative? Why can't we add some PlayStation flair to get people on these games on mobile?
It's funny you bring that up, because I was going to pimp it out later. I'm doing Road to Ragnarok with our good friend Kevin Diaz, like you did with Forbidden West.
That's right.
And we did our first episode talking about like what God of War means to me and just my history with God of War. And I was looking up God of War titles. I had no idea that there was a God of War mobile game called God of War Betrayal. And apparently it's pretty good. And it's like locked away on a mobile.
On a Nokia somewhere.
Somewhere. Like, that excites me to have a Kratos adventure right here in my hands.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, I wish it was a Vita God of War Kratos experience, but that excites me as a lot. Yeah, give me just not just fun 15 minutes, let me match some things, or endless runner kind of situation, but like actual story-based cool things.
Yeah. And like with mobile expanding the way it has in the tech front, you can put some pretty impressive games on there. So to me, that's cool how they're expanding, but it's seemingly at the same exact time they're not forgetting what put them here. And that is their single player experiences. It's important because as we see more and more of these games or publishers being bought out by Microsoft, it is, you know, PlayStation can't just be the I'm here for the exclusives machine. They got to be also something else and something more. They have to evolve. So again, I'm really excited and optimistic by what Herman's saying here, and yeah, I'm going to give a lot of these games of service a chance. So, you know, to me, this is just good business. This is just them expanding the company. If we want PlayStation to keep doing what they're doing, they have to. So I may not like mobile games, but they have to. My brother will be that whale. Right, my brother loves mobile games. The Marvel Strike Force and the Star Wars Heroes, I don't get it. But he's going to be there. I'm going to be here, and that's fine. Those things could exist. Anyway,
my one last thing before we move on is I hope, my one little thing that I hope doesn't happen is I want the live service games to not feel samey.
Fair.
Right? Like they need to do a good job of, what was it, 12?
Yes.
They need to be distinct enough.
Fair. Because look at like the PlayStation 3 generation, right? They're like, okay, we need to take on a Call of Duty. We got Resistance, we got Killzone, we got Starhawk, we got Mag. Can't forget Mag's always the last one.
Yeah.
These are the shooters that we're gonna try. No, none of them did it. None of them were able to penetrate that market. So it's just like, yeah, we can make a shooter with X Call of Duty does with a deviation. I'm just assuming it's shooter because of their pedigree. I know nothing. Please don't yell at me. But like, you know, go out there, make that Monster Hunter, make that Twisted Metal, like make that Tarkov Last of Us game, like do different stuff. That's what excites me here. PlayStation to me has some of the best developers in the industry. How you attract them is by treating them right, like Herman said here. How you make more money to make more of these games, you expand to PC, you expand to mobile. Like, this is exciting for PlayStation and for PlayStation gamers. So all of this is a great time. I think you're right. Those 12 live service games, first off, are all of them going to hit? No. Some of them, maybe. But the ones that are, that's the thing that Sony's really banking on.
Absolutely.
And make them different. Not everything is the Call of Duty. And I think the industry's also learned there is no Halo killer. There is no WoW killer. There is no Call of Duty killer. That doesn't exist. You can make interesting things in that marketplace, but no one's dethroning Call of Duty. Sorry.
No.
Yeah.
There's just Fortnite.
There is just Fortnite.
There can only just be Fortnite.
Yeah. I've spent way too much money. You know, the moment they bring in Miles Morales in Fortnite, which you know they are.
Yeah.
I'm gonna cry and then spend like $40.
Of course you are. If you joined our community stream, we got to see your collection of characters.
The hundreds upon hundreds of dollars. Yeah, I'm not proud. Anyway. Kyle, on to the next story on the list, sir.
Zarmina Khan over at PS Lifestyle writes, Sony From Software investment targets movies and TV shows alongside games. Fancy an Elden Ring movie. It looks like PlayStation Studios boss Herman Hulst might be entertaining the idea. In a new interview with Reuters, the head honcho revealed that Sony Interactive Entertainment's minority stake in From Software might not be limited to video game collaborations. With PlayStation Productions off to a successful start, the company is eyeing movie and TV show collaborations as well. All that said, a Bloodborne movie isn't outside the realm of possibility either. Quote, you should think of collaborations on the game development side first and foremost, but it's also not unthinkable with our PlayStation production efforts that we explore opportunities. Hulst told Reuters.
Ooh, I am this close to getting a Cyberpunk Edge Runner-like experience for Bloodborne.
That would be so cool.
Dude, that would be...
I don't know what I would want more. An animated Bloodborne show?
And people are like, oh, it's Berserker or whatever. I'm not a big anime person, but I get it.
But like, or do I want like a live-action HBO Bloodborne dark and moody kind of thing? Oh, man, I don't know which one.
No, I think Bloodborne works so best when it's in a weird niche.
Sure.
But you know what? It would be really great. You have a Bloodborne Netflix in the vein of like Haunting of Hill House vibe. Like get that guy on there to make something spooky.
Mike Flanagan?
Yeah. He knows. But also, please don't kill like dogs, please. I can't. Or cats. Please don't do that.
Yeah.
Unless they're Bloodborne ones.
What if they did? No, never mind. That's stupid. I was gonna say, what if they did a like, you know how Netflix has been toying around with like their choose your own adventure kind of series?
Yeah.
What if they do that for like Bloodborne, where that's how they introduce you dying and then restarting?
Ooh.
Because I'm thinking like that's an interesting thing. Like, how would you translate that to the screen?
Yeah, no, that's
like
the whole like prepare to die type of like aspect. Yeah. That's right. Like, how do you get that? Like, maybe it's like a one-off. Each episode is like someone meeting an untimely end. Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
I'm just saying. I don't know. I got a brain full of rocks. Sometimes works.
Maybe it's just Gehrman, right?
Oh God, yes. Like his origin story. That would be dope. Okay, Kyle. Listen, this sounds fantastic. Elden Ring, transcending. I know Bandai talked about it a few months back, but it seems like PlayStation kind of beat them to the punch here when it says, "Hey, we're gonna invest in your company, and we want to make media of your IP and translate it to film and TV." And I think we talked a bit about this on the show as well. As this absolutely makes sense for PlayStation of securing from software so they don't go anywhere and expanding their IP so it's more synonymous with PlayStation without having to own them.
Yeah.
So are you excited by this idea of an Elden Ring show and or movie? Do you think that From Software is that they make the type of games that could translate well on screen?
Am I excited? Yes. I don't know how well they would translate.
Yeah, because
there's so many like villains, so many bosses. Like
the story is an enigma.
Story, like I'm sure somebody could write like a story into it and it will make sense and using the lore from the games. But
absolutely,
is it going to be like a monster of the week kind of thing where you go at a boss every single episode, or I truly just want to see these environments on the screen.
Yeah.
Like I would love to see oh my God, why am I blanking on I would love to see Canehurst Manor in real life.
Oh God, yes.
Like on set with a real human going through and like that excites me.
Yeah.
But I don't know how they would do it structurally, like with a plot.
Now that actually goes to Cypher Prima's question. I hope I said your name right. I probably didn't. But that said, how excited are you at the possibility of a Bloodborne TV series or film? Cypher, we're there. Ooh, my nips can cut glass. That's how excited I am about all this. Which two of those adaptations, series or film, would you think is the best one? Honestly, I think Bloodborne's probably the best way that they can. I think it's the most straightforward story out of what From Software's what we know them for.
Yeah.
What style? Okay, now we get this question. Anime or live action? I think anime. I think animation as well. I don't think this translates. Like, I don't think you can make a Game of Thrones out of this. You gotta throw some insane budget.
I would like to see them try.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's like when they fail at the end, it's like, at least we tried.
As long as they, non sequitur here. Yeah. As long as they learn from Jordan Peele. I don't know if you saw that when he was talking about Nope.
No.
All the night scenes that were shot, all those scenes were shot during the day. And they did a filming technique where they shot one at a different speed or something of two cameras, and then they layered it on top of each other. Ooh. And that's why the night scenes look like they are at night, but they actually did them during the day. Oh, so like, crazy. Hey, Game of Thrones, learn from that so we can see what's going on. I haven't watched the episode everyone's talking about, but apparently there's another completely dark episode.
There's a good 5 minutes where you have a vague idea of movement
I hate
on screen.
It.
Yeah. Trust me, there's a lot of if there's some things I wish I didn't see from that show, you know?
Sure.
Like some of the birthing stuff, I would have, maybe that should have been shot at night. You know what I'm saying? Because you ladies, I have no struggles compared to what I saw. And that was just acting. They deserve Oscars. They deserve Purple Hearts, all of it.
Wow.
It's rough. Oh my God. Anyway, childbirth, crazy concept. But yeah, no, like I think these make sense for TV shows more than films. I think most games are going to translate better to TV to films because to me, TV gives you more of a chance to kind of soak everything in and tell that story through a long, long time frame. So I think TV would be the best fit here.
Unless they do a movie, and I'm only thinking Bloodborne, because that's what's coming to my brain first and foremost. Of like, instead of a movie about a hunter, what if it's a movie about like Amelia, right? The first vicar, or Lawrence, or Maria. Like maybe a villain story about how they got to where they are.
Yeah. That again, all this excites me. And it just excites me to see video games branch out and to tell their stories in different mediums as well. So again, like I get it. The industry's in this weird changing sequence, and I feel like we're all kind of getting, for some reason, bummed about it. I'm getting excited by it. I don't know. That's just me. Yeah. That said, Kyle, here's the next story on the list. It's also a doozy of a read.
Oh,
but I feel like we could take.
Cypher said Primus. By the way.
Primus. Oh, okay.
Primus.
My bad.
It's fine.
Kyle, take it away, good sir.
Joe Scribbles over at IGN. CD Projekt is working on 3 Witcher games, a new CyberPunk, and a new IP. CD Projekt Red has announced the codenames and brief descriptions for 5 new games, including 3 Witcher games, a new CyberPunk, and a brand new IP. Revealed on Twitter, it marks a major next step for the developer in multiple respects, from developing its own IP from scratch to developing multiple full-size games at one time. In a separate release, the company says it is also, quote, adding multiplayer to the majority of future projects, end quote. This also marks the first time that we've learned the new Witcher Trilogy will not be the only new games set in that universe. The 5 games are codename Orion, quote, a codename for our next CyberPunk game, which will take the CyberPunk franchise further and continue harnessing the potential of this dark future universe. Orion will be developed by a brand new CD Projekt studio set up in the US. Codename Polaris is a codename for the next installment in the Witcher series of games, which we recently announced was in pre-production. It is the beginning of a new saga. We aim to release 2 more Witcher games after Polaris, creating a new AAA RPG trilogy. The full trilogy is intended to be released in a 6-year period. And codename Canis Majoris, a full-fledged Witcher game separate to the new Witcher saga starting with Polaris. It will be developed by an external studio headed by experienced developers who have worked on past Witcher games. It's not currently clear which developer is working on this project. And codename Sirius, a codename for the game developed by the Molasses Flood, set in the Witcher universe and created with support from CDPR. It will differ from our past productions, offering multiplayer gameplay on top of a single-player experience, including a campaign with quests and story, end quote. Oh, and Hadar, a codename for a third entirely distinct IP created from scratch within CDPR. The project is in the earliest stages of the creative process, which means we are not developing any game yet, but working exclusively on the foundation for this new setting.
First off, Kyle, I'm going to say something really crazy right now. All these announcements have me excited, and I'm, again, daggers out for me, y'all. I feel like this is how we should start announcing games.
With their codenames?
Just say, like, look, I feel like we're getting to this point. We see with TV all the time, too. Like, the set of The Last of Us, how many times that's been leaked out. The set of an MCU thing or DC or whatever. We see these sets. We know, we see the logo years before they actually come to fruition. Look at Blade, for example, right? We know that these things are coming. Why can't you just say, if I'm PlayStation going, hey, we have some projects that we're cooking up. Here are what we got, so we could beat these leakers and these rumor mongers at the punch here. Because how many times now have we seen developers come out and go, well, no, we're not making a new Sly game. Stop asking. No, those leaks and those rumors aren't true. We're doing something else. We'll tell you at another time. Or a great example is actually there's a new Transformers movie coming out, and a leaker goes, I'll announce it because they won't. Here's what this whole movie is, and here's who the villain is. Like, how dare you, actually? That's their project to announce. Hundreds of people have worked on that. You're just some dude. No, how about you relax? So, like, that actually really triggered me. So that they could kind of beat the leakers to the punch and say, and kind of set expectations. Why can't PlayStation go, hey, Insomniac, we're working on a cool Marvel thing. It's multiplayer. Come join us. You know, or Ben Studios going, hey, we're working on something sci-fi, open world. Maybe we have some co-op mechanics in. Come join us. Like, I think that works, and then you can have a cool sizzle reel. I don't know. What do you think on that concept?
I like it in theory.
Okay, fine.
But no, it's fine. It's fine.
I was thinking about it during lunch. I was eating a wrap.
You say wrap so aggressively.
Well, because it was a turkey wrap.
Okay.
It wasn't great. And I was just like, I think this is a good idea.
No, it is a good idea, but I think if I was PlayStation, and even just for me personally, doing that loses some of the excitement in seeing it unveiled for the first time. And I understand the reasoning behind it of getting ahead of leakers, which is a big issue.
Yeah.
But like, if Insomniac, like you said, it's like, yeah, in addition to Wolverine and Spider-Man 2, we have another Marvel game, and it's going to be multiplayer or whatever. That would just bum me out because I want to be shocked by it the first time I hear about it. Because then we get into the whole thing of like, if they're not going to come right out and say what IP it is, like they say a Marvel multiplayer game, then that's all we're going to hear is, oh, which hero is it going to be? What kind of... It's just going to be Marvel's Avengers all over again. I was like, it just tires me thinking about it.
All right, fair. Yeah, I think you poked a really good hole in there.
I think this works, though, because it's just CD Projekt.
Right.
It's their studio. It's the things they're working on. Similar to like Assassin's Creed doing their codename stuff.
All right, fair enough. Well, here's the thing. M9 Prime wrote in, which he had two excellent questions. He writes, I hope CD Projekt Red learned from their lesson from the CyberPunk launch. I think they did. Because a great game got forgotten by many due to its quote-unquote incompleteness at launch. It just needed a few more months in the oven, I would say here, to bake, because I played it on PlayStation 5 when the PlayStation 5 version released, and it ran pretty good and almost no issues. I hope devs get the time they need, and the bean counters who satisfy investors keep their noses out of it. I will take a great launch for them to get their goodwill back, but I believe that team can make stellar games. I'm excited for CyberPunk Orion, which was announced, and I'm always up for a Witcher game. How about you guys? So, first off, fantastic question, and because of Edge Runners, I'm in Cyberpunk 2077, Kyle. And I am loving it. It's a great game here. Now, is this like, oh my God, it's a religious experience? No, it's a really great open world game, and I think it's a better Fallout game than Fallout ever wish it could be. Sorry, Fallout fans, but your load times are horrendous. And that Prescott guy that wants me to help the villagers, I hope they all die. I don't want the base building. Stop. So, for me, as a non like first person RPG shooter game, this is actually doing a whole lot for me. So I'm actually, out of all these, probably the most excited for Orion. I don't know. What say you? I know you're not a huge CD guy.
No, not yet. Like I eventually I will hop back into Cyberpunk. I do want to give that game a shot. I'm like very eagerly awaiting the Witcher 3 next gen version. I like the backing track I'm getting. I'm like eagerly waiting the Witcher 3 PS5 version so I can actually like play it from beginning to end.
Yeah.
And so like these excite me. On one hand, though,
Okay.
hearing 3 Witcher games in 6 years, we know how big Witcher 3 is, which is why I haven't played it yet. That seems like an Assassin's Creed oversaturation thing waiting to happen.
Also, I could understand the skepticism of like, y'all didn't even release one game great. Y'all are making like 6.5. Like, what are we doing here?
So but the sequel to Cyberpunk, I am actually excited about it. Because to think, again, I haven't played the first 2 Witcher games, but to think how they went from that first one and second one and then made 3 and everything they learned and retooled, and like they're obviously a super talented studio. I'm super excited for whatever sequel to Cyberpunk is going to look like and feel like and play like, because you know damn well they're going to try their best to not have another situation happen.
Now they have something to prove.
100%, which is exciting because you know they're going to make it right.
Yeah. I also like what is this? The entirely...
The Hadar?
Yeah, the entirely different one. It's in the early stages, and it's like... It is a multiplayer RPG. I wonder how that's going to work.
Did they say that one was a multiplayer RPG?
Yes, they talked a little bit about it being some type of weird blend of online element. Okay. I'm interested to see how that works, because for me, I think of Elder Scrolls. I go, man, oh man, if only there was co-op to it. And then they made it Elder Scrolls Online. I was like, a step too far. Let's bring it back. But like, to just like, if I'm walking around as Geralt in The Witcher 4, whatever.
Yeah.
And someone's walking in as Ciri, let's go. Like, let's have like a Dragon Age like game.
Sure.
That excites me. I don't know.
I'm more thinking about it of like, what kind of setting is it going to be?
Yeah.
We already have the very far future. We have castles and mythology and dragons and like mythical beasts in The Witcher.
Yes.
Where are we going to go next? Like the Pilgrims in the United States? Like what a modern setting in a CD Projekt? That would be kind of interesting.
That'd be interesting. I do like the discovery of the New World vibe.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
I think that's where it is. So overall, I'm excited. Again, I'm loving Cyberpunk. So I'm all in on what CD has to offer. And I'm excited to see The Witcher 3 get its current gen refresh so I can go back to that and beat it on PlayStation. Because I remember playing it on Xbox and I got like halfway through. I don't know why I dropped it because it was so good. But to me, PlayStation 5 version, I'm going to be there. I'm excited. That said, Kyle, the next story on the list, this is the last big story, Kyle. Have you seen this? Have you heard about this?
Liam Croft, no relation to Lara, from Push Square, writes, Sony producing 2 million PSVR 2 headsets by March 2023. Sony plans to have 2 million PSVR 2 headsets ready for consumers to purchase by March 2023, a new Bloomberg report claims. Mass production reportedly kicked into gear last month and hasn't hit any snags or faced any supply chain constraints up until now. The platform holder plans to release the next-gen device early next year, providing us with a rough estimate of how many units could be available at launch. In comparison, it took Sony's first PSVR headset over a year to sell 2 million units, but it released during a time when virtual reality wasn't quite as commonplace as it is now. Headsets like the Oculus Quest 2 have made the technology more accessible at a cheaper price point. As of January 2020, PSVR had sold 5 million units. Suggestions Sony wants to have 2 million headsets ready for PSVR 2's launch period, almost half of PSVR's entire install base, would indicate the company is investing heavily in the optional PS5 add-on.
Okay, so there's a lot here. The one thing that is the underline, the production strain on PlayStation is seemingly decreasing rapidly. There's actually a article, I think or a tweet I saw from Christopher Dridge over at gamesindustry.biz saying that they've heard from the grapevine that the production in September alone is the best they've had in the last 12 months of PlayStation 5.
That's great.
So they're really ramping up production, and it seems like the PlayStation VR 2 headset is ramping up production. We said it. We think this is coming out March,
Yeah,
2023.
March.
Yeah, maybe April. Who knows? But they want to sell a lot of these, Kyle. And I think the thing that gets them over that 2 million sold, because that's a huge number for VR. Remember, guys, VR is still a small but growing market that holds an extreme amount of promise. If you're a shareholder or a corporation the likes of Sony, you want to get in on this product fast. One of the things it seems like they'll be getting, if the rumors and leaks, look at us, are correct, Valve Half-Life Alyx is coming to PSVR 2.
Oh boy.
Rumor, speculation. Kyle, do you think the 2 million number is too bullish?
It's pretty bullish.
It's like,
especially because we don't know what the cost is going to be for us.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like there's so many unknowns. Like, we don't know the price of this console. I do think it's a $500 headset.
We still don't know a launch lineup.
Still don't know the launch lineup of games.
Yeah.
We don't even know if there's going to be an upgrade path from PSVR 1, but let's not hold our breath.
Yeah.
So even with all these obstacles, I honestly don't know. I honestly don't know if it's going to hit that 2 million mark. Mm-hmm. I hope it does.
Oh, but 100%.
What are they doing differently from Oculus? What are they doing differently from the Index that's going to get people over to the PlayStation headset versus what they could get entry-level Oculus or what they could get for the extravagant Index?
Yeah.
Like, what are they going to offer different? I don't know.
Yeah. They need to do more things of like, if Half-Life Alyx, if this rumor is true and it's coming to PSVR 2 next year at some point, they need to start bringing these other VR games over and getting deals and bringing them on, because I'm worried a little bit.
Why?
I just want to know what I'll be playing on it. Like that. I mean, that backwards compatibility thing really bummed me out.
Yeah, I mean, it bummed a lot of people out. I think it sucks. Again, I understand the reasoning, though.
Yeah.
I do believe there should be a free upgrade for you. Should be, but we know.
Yeah.
We know in our hearts.
Mm-hmm.
But you're right. Like, with even that, the idea of no backwards compatibility, will that just turn people off? Going, I'll just get an Index. You're not respecting my dollar. Like, that's a good question.
Yeah.
Because we could sit here and speculate, but we just don't know.
Yep.
Crazy. But hey, listen, huge numbers. Let's see if they'll hit them. I'm excited for PSVR 2 same, but yeah.
I also think that this leads to I don't know, maybe November, get a PSVR only state of play. Where we get the date and price and everything.
Honestly, as much as I'd love that, I think they're throwing this into the showcase.
But that's the thing. At this point, I don't know if we get a showcase this year. I'm kind of falling in that camp, and that bums me out.
No, I think we're getting one. I think we're getting one this month. Just because of what the Final Fantasy 16 director said. We have the trailer. We're waiting. Why would they wait? Okay. Why can't they just drop it?
They could be waiting for Game Awards. I don't know.
They said expected in October.
I hope so. I'm hungry.
I'm hungry. I need to eat right now.
Yeah.
I get it. Again, and I think a lot of the negative news towards PlayStation, if they just released that showcase.
Exactly.
All the worries.
Remaster what?
Exactly.
Huh?
Who? Huh?
Oh, okay. Man, Spider-Man looks dope.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Nathan Drake is in Last of Us, like all that stuff.
Whoa, can you imagine wisecracking as he's shooting clickers?
Right? This used to be someone's dad. All right, Kyle. Flash news. Are you ready? Have you seen this? Have you heard about this? Gotta go fast. Oh, God. Oh, shit. Oh, God. Dead Space Remake thoughts. Here we go.
Why'd you put farts in there?
Because Jose usually says he goes farts. Okay. And I love Jose, so there you go. You're a part of the trophy room history now and forever.
It looks beautiful.
Oh, Kyle.
And you were super excited, and I didn't know about this because I didn't play the original, but I think it was confirmed that it's going to be a one-shot camera thing, similar to God of War.
One-shot camera thing, so like there's
is that
no
how
loading.
The original was?
No, because there was loading, but what you would do is you go in a tram, the loading screen, and then there's the level.
Oh, got it. Okay, so they try to hide it.
Yeah. So now this is going to be similar in God of War. This is a one shot.
That's so exciting. Sorry, Nathan. Isaac is fully voice acted.
So the story is going to change a little bit because now it's not a silent protagonist, which is great. This game looks beautiful. This is the game, man, that made me fall in love with survival horror. So
also,
I'm so in.
Wild to see as a physical media owner, limited run games doing the collector's edition.
Yes.
That is, I think, only possible because of the buyout.
Now, good that you mentioned that. You're right. They were bought out by Embracer, and you're seeing it. Like, they're expanding to do, like, now they're doing books on games.
And they are partnering with EA.
Yeah.
And not just, like, smaller indie. Like, they did Doom stuff for Switch.
Sure.
But, like, this is pretty huge. And granted, that price tag's a little hefty.
Okay. $230.
But that helmet's pretty cool.
The helmet's so cool, but the $20 shipping...
Yeah.
I can't justify it, man. I really can't. I really can't. I want to buy it, but like, I can't justify it. That being said, Kyle, $70 game. Remake. People love it.
Thanks, PlayStation. I feel like we had it right. That's the popular thing on the internet to say. Hey, thanks, PlayStation, for making this a thing.
That's right.
I'm sorry. You should blame 2K.
I'm sorry. Blame yourself. You keep buying them for $70. Blah blah blah.
Whatever. Blame your ignorance because if you look at inflation, $70 equals $60 10 years ago. So whatever.
So relax. Man, we're becoming sour grapes because of the internet. Don't worry.
Hey Joe, what did the purple grape say to the green grape?
What?
Breathe. Oh, I mixed that up. I switched it around. What did the green grape say to the purple grape?
What?
Breathe.
Oh, shoot.
Hey.
All right, writes in. Hey guys, hope you're both doing well. Welcome to October, where we get spooky. Joseph levels up in life, and we become stars in PlayStation. And Trails has given me another character to steal my heart. Ooh-wee, who is it? My question this week is, what are your favorite horror games to tell someone to get started on the genre? With it being October, it seems only like the perfect time to get into some horror games, if I get the time. And I wanted a beginner game to get my feet wet with blood. I added that. So I throw the ball over to you guys. Which games in horror genre would you recommend to a beginner? This is it.
Fantastic.
Dead Space 2. Here you go. This is a game that made me fall in love with it, and I feel like the reason why I love like these games, Resident Evil, those type of horrors, is because I have a gun, so at least I can shoot the thing. I may be a shit shot, but at least I can shoot. I have a gun in my hand. I can defend myself from things with blades for arms.
Yeah. Funny you ask, Una. Last week's 6-1 IndieCast, we all talked about indie horror games that we love. So check that episode out for some indie ones. Mm-hmm. I will highlight one of my favorites. It's not really like gory, scary stuff, but shout out to Costume Quest. Double Fine's like RPG trick or treat Halloween thing. It's fantastic. But when it comes to scary games, Alan Wake Remastered is pretty good. I love a good old Dead by Daylight. I think that's really, really good. As a non-multiplayer person, I really dig playing that game.
Yeah.
And playing with Joe, the few times I played with Joe and him doing his voices while he's chasing, it's unsettling.
I like the way you breathe, boy.
I'm trying to think of some other ones. You got Layers of Fear. You got Little Nightmares.
But I would say there. Dead Space, Resident Evil. That's your start.
Those are easy go-tos. Yep.
Resident Evil 2 remakes probably right up your alley. That's it's stellar. So
yeah.
Hey Kyle, Need for Speed Unbound leaked by EA accidentally. Oh, that poor. They
did the Thanos moment. I'll do it myself.
After months of speculation, this game is going to be probably coming out December 2nd. We're going to get a reveal as the show goes live. We've seen some screenshots. Unfortunately, I'm not a Need for Speed guy, so it does very little for me. What about you?
Yeah, it's going to look gorgeous. Racing games always look gorgeous. I did think I saw a screenshot of like the in-game characters are somewhat like cel shaded and comic booky, which is a cool little twist on it. And I don't know if it's anything like Underground, which I hear people love. They're going to go in the right direction.
All right, good. This makes me feel nice. Jailbroken PlayStation 5s are out. They're in the wild even. Have you seen this? Have you heard about this, Kyle? Do you know what a jailbreak is? Good.
No. I have
All
no
right,
idea.
well, you're about to find out because of Game Rant. Sony's PlayStation 5 console has been jailbroken, which could pave the way for piracy and homebrew content. While it sometimes takes years for it to happen, most video game consoles and other electronics eventually get quote-unquote jailbroken, which essentially means they've been modified to perform functions or install content that would normally be restricted by the device's manufacturer. There's been a long history of video game console jailbreaks, and now it's happened to one of the industry's newest systems.
So and very similar to how people use PSP to put Nintendo games on back in the day.
100%. That is what this is, and of course people are putting PT on it.
Oh, yeah, I mean, duh.
Duh. Listen, I'm here to condone it. Don't do it. But like, if you were to do it, that's probably it's probably the game to risk it for the biscuit on.
Game Pass on PlayStation. It's here.
There you go. Now you can stop talking to us about it. You know, stop annoying us. Jeez Louise, people yelling at me. All right. So, that's a big security breach as well. Possible.
That's big time. Yeah.
So I wonder how what Sony does to work around that. Apparently it's with the older models, update like 4.0 or whatever. It's not on the latest and greatest.
Oh, so if you upgrade your firmware, it'll be impossible.
Yeah.
Got it.
So that said,
that really sucks because don't they have the old firmware like updates on the website or something?
That's true.
Like, can't you just re-download that at any point?
Huh.
Like on a USB drive? I don't know.
People probably have it as well.
It seems like a bad idea. How do you work around that?
I feel like people that want to jailbreak a thing are going to jailbreak it. No matter what. They got the thumb drives all waiting for
Absolutely.
Yep. Most people not going to be bothered by this. I'm just concerned of like the hacker situation.
Yes.
God knows PlayStation's had a history with them. How does this affect them security wise? And I believe there's already like a system update that is about stability. I think it's probably about what's just happened here today.
Yep.
Hey, Kyle, have you seen this? Have you heard about this?
Yeah.
PlayStation Stars goes live today for North America and South America.
Yeah.
And you got to be invited to it.
No? I signed on this morning.
Really? Well, I haven't gotten the update for it. I heard you had to sign in for it. Or sorry, you had to be invited for it.
You have to sign up for it. It's on the website. If you search for it, you can find it.
I press it, nothing happens.
Oh. Well,
so this is terrific.
Well, here it is on the PlayStation app.
God.
You got like some campaigns, like just play a game will get you a digital collectible. This one is wild. This is the one where I'm like, okay, PlayStation, what are we doing here? Yeah. Grab your next favorite game. Buy one of these games to get 50 points. And they're all like full price NBA 2K23, Last of Us Part 1, Inscription, Madden NFL, TMNT Collection, Saints Row 5. You buy one of those, you'll get 50 points.
Get Inscription.
100%. 50 points is roughly, I think, 49 cents or something.
It's a shroot buck.
It's a shroot buck, yeah, for sure. But and it does look like there's going to be like multiple refreshes for the campaigns. Okay. But it is exciting when you look at rewards. Like, here are some of the PlayStation Store rewards, like games you can use points towards. You can get Cult of the Lamb, It Takes Two, Sekiro, The Quarry, Hades. Like The Quarry is 17,000 points, so who knows how long it will take to get there. But $20 to the PlayStation Store is 5,000 points, which I feel like a lot more people are going to go towards.
This just sounds like one big giant Dave & Buster's store, and I hate it.
It's pretty close.
Yeah, we're getting there.
but it's free. It's like you don't have to pay for it, so we'll see how it goes.
Let me ask you something here, Kyle, since you have experience with it. These items were NFTs, right?
I don't have an item yet, so I don't know.
I think they were supposed to be NFTs.
Oh, you mean like before? Oh, yes. It 100% was probably going to be an NFT.
This is going to be the digital items. They're going to be gone in a year or two. That's what I think.
Most likely.
Just like that one, the accolades. Remember those?
Oh yeah, when you play with somebody online, you'd be like, "Hey, this guy's really good at healing.
He's real nice." And it's like, no, we're the internet. This guy is a hole. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Kyle. It's finally time to prepare the drop.
I'm holding on to this, by the way.
Sorry, I'm sick. Oh, that's the steelbook for
Love and Thunder steelbook. You got Jane on the back, Thor on the front. Ooh, it's beautiful.
Ooh,
beautiful.
I'd be in between that. Okay, October 4th. Oh, Alfred Hitchcock Vertigo on PS5, PS4. You'd be dumb if you weren't. You'd be like, I'm up for it. Dakar Desert Rally on PS5, PS4. Overwatch 2, if you could get into this goddamn game. Nobody seems to can. On PS5,
oh my
PS4.
God. I read that. I'm like, why is Overcooked 2 on this week's drop? Oh my God. It's like that game's been out forever.
We're both very sick. Yum Yum Cookstar on PS4. October 6th, Falling Out on PS5, PS4. October 7th. LOL Surprise! BB's Born to Travel on PS4.
That's based off of some dolls that my nieces are big into.
Oh, really? I thought it was one of those cheap plants.
No. Who knows? Maybe it is.
Nickelodeon Kart Racers 3 Slime Speedway comes out on PS5 and PS4.
I'm sorry. The third one?
The third one.
Are we churning that out every year? We get a new kart racer?
Yeah, here it is.
That's wild.
And that's it. That's all the games this week. Next week is going to get nuts. But this week, still slow. Whew. It's been a year. It's been a year for video game releases. Every game released in February, and now we're just in the lull until next February.
Really quickly though, before we get into our favorite bit, I do briefly want to talk about how excited I am about the Gotham Knights previews.
Are they seemingly good?
From the couple that I've seen and read, the main points are the story is fascinating.
Okay.
And the city is awesome.
Great.
Gameplay can be a little bit repetitive.
Oh boy.
Which I feel like we kind of knew.
All right.
And I think that's the biggest knock from what I remember from reading. But to me, just hearing that the story is excellent, I can't wait.
Fair enough. I'm in. I can't wait 100%. To play as Batgirl and just wreck shop. When there were like 4 heroes drop on the city, I was like, who's the 4th hero? Right, Robin exists.
Oh, to me it was like, oh yeah, Red Hood.
Yeah, Red Hood.
He's part of the thing. Yeah.
Oh boy. I'm really excited for that game.
Yep.
I'm pumped. So that's it, Kyle. It's time for our favorite segment of the show, and that is the Sony Pony Express. I'm going to cough during this. Sony Pony Express. Yeah. Shubas and Bits writes in, hey guys, hope you're both doing well. Oh boy. And Joe, I hope you had a great birthday. Now this question, I did, by the way. Thank you, Shubas. Because of you, by the way. Thank you. Your generosity knows no bounds. This question might seem a bit odd. Do you guys ever play games that coincide with the season? We got a lot of questions like this. Once September hits, I try to get through as many horror titles as I could get spooky for the season. I also try to play slice of life games, i.e. Life is Strange around Thanksgiving, and happy, joyous games around Christmas. Am I the only one that does this?
Absolutely not.
No,
You're not the only one. Sometimes I do. I'm more of the movie person.
Fair.
Right? Like October hits, I'm starting to watch scary movies.
Yes.
Games, not so much. Just because it's time of the day and my backlog's already huge. So
humble brag.
The only game that I thought about making a tradition is Miles Morales at Christmas time.
Yeah. Because
you're swinging around New York City at Christmas, and that is besides Arkham Origins, which also takes place on Christmas Eve, it's pretty cool swinging around New York City at Christmas time.
Yeah.
In that game.
Like I watch Die Hard during Christmas. I do that a lot with movies. It's just like, it's time. I want to watch something scary. We're watching Aliens, like, during Halloween or something like that. Like, I like getting into the festive spirit. Home Alone during Christmas or any of
Christmas Vacation on loop for Christmas time.
That's loop. Home Alone 2 during election season. Like, that's it. That's a joke. That's a funny one.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's what I typically but I don't go overboard.
Sure.
So I'm not here decorating my my lawn with ghouls and goblins. It's totally normal here. I don't do that. That's a bit nuts.
We got some wood pumpkins outside.
Yeah, that's not. Yeah, it's nice. It's nice.
Yeah.
All right. M9 Prime writes in. That's right. He asked 2 amazing questions, and that's why he gets added twice here today. This one's for the Sony Pony Express. Yeah. I hope both of you are doing well, and happy belated birthday, Joseph. Oh, thank you, sir. I hope you get over your illness fast. Oh, boy. You're very lucky I muted the mic several times in this episode. I know how awful it is to be sick. Do you like playing spooky games? Oh, this is another one similar. Okay. Spooky games around Halloween. I'm debating between playing Man of Medan or Little Hope this month. What do you suggest? I've already played Until Dawn, so I'm looking for something new. Bonus question. Oh, this is why. This is just for you. Would you consider Control to be a spooky game? Are there games out there that don't seem spooky, but you consider them spooky games, and think along the lines of how some people say Die Hard is a Christmas movie, because it is. I don't care what Bruce Willis has to say. Bruce Willis, outside of being a decent actor, is a dumb idiot who also has lobster brains. It's a Christmas movie, goddammit. There's a lot, like Death Stranding isn't a horror game, but there's terrifying.
I was going to bring up Death Stranding for sure. There's some very, like, trying to, anytime a BT shows up, you got to kind of go to lockdown mode. Yeah. Control, I would consider spooky. The girls want me to play that. They call it the scary game with the long, creepy, long-limbed enemies in that game. So absolutely. Yeah. As far as like debating between Man of Medan or Little Hope, I have not played either.
I would say
I would also just suggest The Quarry.
Fair.
I've heard great things about The Quarry. That is one actually I am hoping to play this month.
Okay.
Because that does fit the theme of scary time. So
yeah. Vontae Tatted writes in, question for the Sony Pony Express. Yeah. So through the power of friendship and montages, you two have been granted your commercial driver's license. That means you get to drive the big trucks.
Oh, I love it.
Honestly, we were talking about that like while we were driving home, me and my coworker. Hats off to y'all, because that's terrifying to me.
Absolutely.
I would crush at least 3 cars just to make it a left turn. Sony reached out to you, wants you to turn your Sony Pony Express, the SVP for short, into a full-fledged trucking company whose sole purpose is to deliver PlayStation goods and talk to fans about products, games, and etc. Sony has also been so gracious to allow you two the ability to choose the color, the design of the truck, and the trailer, and get to have one Sony exclusive character, past or present, to be your co-pilot. So, what would y'all's truck look like, and what character would you choose to ride with? As always, love you guys. Shiny side up.
Shiny side up. Oh, this is a great question.
I got it.
Go for it.
Will Smith on the Today Show pre-slap showed that he had this trailer. He had a... You gotta preface it, Kyle. Right? Pre-keeping wife's names out of mouths. He had this trailer that it turns into a double-decker bus.
Yeah, it's like his mobile gym.
It's his, quote-unquote mobile gym for keeping the backhand strong. I want that. So what if, like, you're entering in this truck, not a creepy white van, it's like black in front, shiny black, white along the sides. There's like wings, like it's an old 50s convertible, like wings in the back, and a spoiler.
Okay.
Spoiler. I thought of a really bad joke, but I'll keep it. Save that for the post show. And then like flames on the side, but blue flames. And it's like Sony Pony Express on the sides. And you get to enter the van. Sorry, not van. Double-decker bus. And there's just PlayStation 5s littered everywhere. And there's like different cabinets. Who's going to be my co-pilot? Well, I feel like we can't do anybody for the Twisted Metal. No. We want people to enter. Like, this is not a horror thing. I want Sackboy.
They'll also take over the wheel and just run people over.
Yeah. There's no guns on here. There's no turret. Sackboy. I want Sackboy. Sackboy's inviting, but also could be a little menacing. So I want to turn it into a meme.
Okay.
He's photo bombing folks. That's what I'm thinking.
That's gonna be a very boring drive, though. He's not gonna talk to you.
I don't think he's gonna be in character. He's probably some guy named
you think it's just okay?
Yeah, he's not.
Just some guy named Dale who just puts on the costume.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He's hit his low, and he's with me.
I was thinking the actual character.
No,
that's some guy in it.
Dale's on his third divorce, seventh kid.
I'm thinking of Bad Santa now. His partner.
That's right. He's truly an awful human being. We don't feel bad for Dale, but goddamn, he gets into character. He just nails it.
Oh man, what would my truck look like? The Mr. Softy ice cream trucks.
Yeah.
So think of like a big 18-wheeler version of that, but instead of an ice cream cone, it is a platinum trophy on the top.
Ooh, okay.
And on the side is the sacred symbols kind of flowing.
I like this.
Very similar to like the DualSense where the symbols are everywhere. Yeah. It's coded everywhere. That's what the truck looks like. Mm-hmm. It's got to be blue. It's got to be PlayStation Blue, right. With a little bit of the trophy colors, the gold, bronze, silver all over the place. You're giggling about something probably messed up.
I want to put. I thought one more addition to mine. I want to put truck nuts on mine.
Of course, absolutely.
I'm a silly little goose.
And similar to what I think was the PlayStation Mobile thing that was at PSX when I went, where you can go in and just play games. That's what I would want it to look like, because it was pretty cool in there. As far as Copilot goes, all the PlayStation people that I think of, the character wise, they're all like brooding and like probably not fun to travel around the country with.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with a side character.
Please.
And I'm looking at the postcard that was autographed at PAX East.
Daxter.
Give me Jessie from Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Oh, okay.
She'd be a fun time, just traveling the country.
Falling in
making
love.
Jokes, 100%.
I got
Bonnie and Clyde it. Yeah, come on.
I get it.
Yeah.
Katie writes in, I'm so over the moon about CyberPunk. As a big fan of the game since its release, yes, the caffeine hit, I'm glad it's finally getting recognized for what a brilliant game it is. It really is. This is honestly the most excited I've been for a sequel probably since Mass Effect 3. So my question is, what is a sequel that you were the most hyped for? I know both of you had ups and downs this week for different reasons. Hopefully you guys are doing all right now. Love y'all.
Thank you, Katie.
Thank you. Sequels that I feel like I got. Here's the thing, Kyle, and it's gotten me a little depressed. Can I just say it? I feel like I've gotten like not to say the excitement for game releases. I'm numb to it, but like I don't get excited as much as like for things as I used to be, I guess.
That makes me sad.
Yeah. Because I'm like I'm excited for God of War, but like I'm excited for God of War.
Sure.
I don't know. Maybe that's a me thing. Maybe you gotta
find that spark again.
Maybe I'm depressed.
Probably.
I don't know.
Listen, I've been there. You'll get out of it.
Life seems pretty bleak. I don't know about you guys. But like I think of like, Mass Effect 3 is a good one. Dead Space 2 is another like great one. I think we're pretty amped for part 2. And I think that's where the nervousness started with me of like, I really hope this game hits because Twitter's awful.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
I mean, Last of Us Part 2 for sure. Even God of War 2018, technically not a sequel, but still in the franchise. I think the biggest one though was Arkham Knight.
Okay.
I was so jazzed for Arkham Knight. I was working at GameStop. We had a midnight release party. I dressed up like Bane. Right. I had both collector's editions pre-ordered. Ooh. And was bummed when the Batmobile one got canceled because the molds for that collector's edition got messed up. Yeah. I was so upset. But the statue we got is amazing. I was so damn excited for that. Sure. And I think that was the biggest sequel outside of Borderlands 2 and Borderlands 3 to the same extent, where I was like, I'm so ready for another entry in this series kind of thing.
Fair. Those are great questions or great answers. I also think like Halo 3. I remember.
Oh, and Uncharted 4 and 3 and
Yeah.
all that. All the Uncharted's really.
But like Halo 3, my mom literally said you didn't have to go to school that day. That was so cool.
Yeah.
Best mom ever. Maybe actually not great, but like it was cool then. I respect it now. So yeah, it is like it's not like I don't get excited. I guess like the fever doesn't like, oh, I'm always like amped to talk about like I don't know, Ragnarok or something. But to me, it's like, yeah, I'm excited. And that's how excited I get.
Sure.
Yeah, I think I need to see it.
I guarantee that will change, though.
Oh yeah.
The moment they talk about a Bloodborne.
Oh.
What? And then you'll be like, oh my god, 10 days.
That's right. Oh yeah, no, guys, please, if there's any Bloodborne like remaster, remake, sequel, whatever, tweet at me to see if I'm alive and I didn't die from cardiac arrest. Because that would put me in the ground.
We should do that thing that some celebrities do where they're like, hey, text me at this number so we can chat. Let's make one for you. In case of Bloodborne news, break open the glass and text Joe.
Are you alive? Are you okay? Then I know.
1-800-BLOOD.
Fun fact, when Steve Jobs died, the first thing I thought, I need to text my brother, see if he's okay, because he's a huge Apple diehard. Like, he must be distraught right now. And he was.
Oh, jeez. Wow.
Like, I'm not that sad. I never met him. Like, I don't know. He seemed pretty close. Spider CC writes in, with the popularity of the Steam Deck and the reluctance of Sony to do a Vita 2 and Sony porting more games to PC, do you think Sony will stick with using remote play over a cloud streaming service so they don't have to take away from the PC port money? Absolutely, yes.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going back to handheld as much as I'd love to see it.
It bums me out so much. I
think we're going to see PlayStation again. They're going to be about their IPs more than the hardware over time. That's what I think.
Yep.
The hardware has to be like a PlayStation 5 or something that is emerging, that is, VR, for them to get excited and amped to go into it. Because right now you're seeing the handheld market. You have the Switch, which is just dominant.
Mm-hmm.
You have the Steam Deck, which it's great in the enthusiast realm, but we don't know in actuality like sales number. Like, I think it's just crossed 1 million. So like, let's relax. And then you got the Logitech handheld that just and a whole lot of myriad of littler devices, but it's all streaming. And so like, if I'm PlayStation, why do I need to make a Vita 2?
I think my hopes that Vita 2 died when we got that blog post of the Backbone PlayStation edition.
Exactly.
That's when my any sliver of hope left in me for a Vita 2 died that day.
No Fate writes in, you don't talk about trophies much, considering the title of this podcast. It's called a branding, son. So by your definition, what game has the most fun trophy lineup to platinum, and what unreleased title would you like to have similar trophies? Anything from software related, I feel like, to me, is the best type of trophy list, man. I love it. Oh god, I love it so much.
See, it's a little what's the word I'm looking for? Not critical of you. What's the word?
I don't know.
What's the thing where you talk about something, you change your mind on something? Hypocritical.
Oh, hypocritical, yeah.
A little hypocritical, because aren't you famous for not wanting trophies where you have to replay a game?
Okay, and that's the thing. Besides that, where you get to save scum, you did it. You did it too.
Duh, I'm not ashamed.
Yeah, you shouldn't be. You're right. That's a bad trophy list. You know what? I take that back. I think a good trophy list is where you're completing the game. You complete the game and you're going back and you're just experiencing other portions of that game that you might have overlooked. So I do like the latest like PlayStation, platinums where they're achievable. You can get them.
Last of Us 2, Part 2 and Part 1.
Yeah, like you can. It's about experiencing the game, not like this is my whole personality type of game. But at the same flip of the coin, I do like the From Software's approach where it is about experiencing part of these games. It's not about beating a boss with your left hand while your right hand's tied behind your back. It is it's experiencing it. I don't like the difficulty trophies. I like where it's about experiencing that game at its core.
Yeah. You took the words right out of my mouth. There are some where like playing it on hard for a trophy while at first made me upset, I realized that playthrough of that game might be my favorite, like Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Yeah.
I had so much fun playing that, even though it was super difficult not being able to use items and stuff like and that Shinra combat simulator thing was insane.
And as long as they're not obnoxious collectibles, I like those too.
Yes,
like,
absolutely.
The reason why I don't have God of War 2018 platinumed is the damn Odin's Ravens. It's like, I don't want to spend an afternoon looking up a YouTube video to go chuck an axe at a hawk.
That is a video gamey thing, just to make it a video game kind of thing.
Exactly.
Like I'd rather collectibles be like actually like lived in the world, like Last of Us Part 1.
Absolutely.
And 2 or whatnot.
All right, Green Gorilla Gamer. They put this question in again because we did forget about it last week, and we did talk about it last week a little bit, but I'll put it in here because I love you so much. Green Gorilla Gamer says, "Sup boys, Deadpool 3 releases on September 16th, 2024. Hugh can my mom Jackman." That's his words, not mine.
Whoa,
that's a lot. That's Knuckles Deep type of situation. Is going to reprise his role as Mother Wolverine. We all need to have the gusto, the step right over 2023 and move right on over to 2024. Let's like ignore that year and we could go back. And we could go back to it after 2024 if we really wanted to.
We all just line up to Stephen Strange. Like, hey, listen, let's go back, please.
Please. I'm going to connect this to PlayStation now. Spider-Man No Way Home, massive success. We're getting Spider-Man 2 next year. Hugh Jackman is making his return. Holy shit, as Wolverine. We're getting a Wolverine game from Insomniac. Deadpool is a very clearly one of the more popular Marvel characters as of recent. Do you think we're going to get a brand new Deadpool game? Could we quite possibly even could he show up in the Wolverine game from Insomniac? If so, who would you like to see play Deadpool? There you go. From your biggest Marvel fan and Trophy Room fan, Green Girl Gamer. P.S. Maybe I should get married that day, and then we could all go for an after party and go see Deadpool 3. This could actually work. Will you guys be pulling up? Of course. An update to it. She's thinking about it. Gusto, confidence. Hey! Look at that.
That's great. Do I want... I think I would rather have Deadpool have its own game.
Yeah.
Rather than him show up into these other worlds. It'd be cool for those characters to interact. That is a big tone shift whenever Deadpool comes out. I can't see Deadpool being serious in any of these things.
Yeah, you're right. I think Deadpool should have his own game and have it be voiced as Nolan North again because he did a fantastic job.
Ryan Reynolds, come do a game.
I bet he'd be down for that, dude.
Right? Exactly.
I bet he would absolutely.
I mean, he just made Free Guy.
Yeah.
Like, he's familiar with the video game world now.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah, absolutely. No, so I think we have to be mindful of who we're adding to these worlds. Like Wolverine, like it'd be cool if we have like a Hugh Jackman skin, like akin to like Spider-Man, right?
Oh yeah.
But like, I don't want Hugh Jackman to be voiced as him. I want I'm blanking on his name, the man that voiced Arthur Morgan to do it. I think he could be a really great Wolverine. I really do think so. So like, let different actors have these roles, and have their own spin to it, just like these studios are doing. And if we're gonna see Deadpool, I don't want him to overstay his welcome because he very much could. I don't want him to break the fourth wall, and I know that's what he does. I want to be immersed in this game. And don't want to be reminded that this is a video game if it's not a Deadpool game.
I mean, when you look at that Wolverine teaser, right, that 30 seconds, that is as serious gets.
Yeah.
And just imagine that teaser, and then with like Wade popping up in the corner.
Hey guys,
be like, oh man, can you believe it? Wolverine, PlayStation 5. Like, it would kind of break it for me.
Like to me, if it was like, I don't know. Oh God, who's his partner in Deadpool 2? Why am I blanking on his name?
His partner in Deadpool 2.
Yeah, partner. God, it's
Colossus.
No, it's like his buddy cop. Oh God, they have comic books
together.
I forgot
his name.
Fake fan.
It's been a while.
COVID brain. I'm sick. Blah blah. Yeah, people in their car are angry. They don't care. But yeah, like a Colossus game, and then all of a sudden you see like, and Deadpool. Similarly, like how Like if Deadpool just walks in, it's like a Colossus in Deadpool game. Similar like how he announced that, Hugh Jackman would be Wolverine, where it's like, hey, Hugh, you want to be Wolverine again? Sure. And then bam, cuts. Like it's just all of a sudden very, very like funny and whimsical. That's how I'd like to see it go.
Yeah, for sure.
Great question, sir. All right. Last question of the night comes from our very good friend, Sean, whose kink is to be publicly humiliated for his bad picks in fantasy critic leagues. Capri writes in, no kink shaming here, folks. I'm not here.
Sean, I'm sorry.
We're not here to kink shame. I'm just saying, Sean Capri, over at Carpool Gaming, over at the Xbox Drive, we have a fantasy critic league. He has made fumble after fumble, mistake after mistake, and it has costed him dearly. Currently, he is only up by 2 points. We have Callisto Protocol. We have God of War Ragnarok. Bayonetta. Plague Tale Innocence. Good luck, Sean. He writes in, hey guys. Extra Life is just 30 days away. What games are you thinking of playing? I'm really looking forward to couch co-op. Oh my God, I can't wait. Feel we have when we finally get to sit down next to each other and play games for 24 hours straight. That is right. Kyle's already booked his ticket over to Rome, New York.
That is breaking news. I'm actually be joining everyone for the first time this year. I've missed out in the previous year, so I will be up there in Rome with everyone doing my first of 2 Extra Lives this year, a few weekends apart. But I'm gonna have a great time, and I'll tell you right now what I want to play. I want to play. Oh my God. Oh my God, that movie party game we just did on the stream.
Oh, what the dub?
What the dub? Yes,
so
I want to
fun.
play What the Dub. I want to play Jackbox with everybody. Those are the kinds of things that I cannot wait to play with everyone.
We're doing some finishing touches of what our like official plans are, but I believe we're just going to be a part of like Sean's like thing.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I was going to ask you questions off the air of like what we were going to plan, but yeah, I'm just down to do whatever to raise money for sick kids, because that's what's most important.
Yeah, and I think for me the most important thing, other than all the money we'd be raising for these kids, a good cause and all that, I would love a sit down with Sean as he gets to explain why he made all the decisions he made with his fantasy league.
Well, let's be a little bit fair to Sean.
Sure.
It's Sean and Ryan.
Right.
You keep forgetting Ryan.
Well, yeah. I'm not forgetting. I think Ryan knows what he's done. But I want Sean to put the blame on him so that I could be the reason why they break up. You know?
Okay, Yoko Ono.
That's right. I want to be the Yoko. That said, again, I cannot wait. More official. I'll have a fancy thumbnail and everything when that time comes. But yeah, Extra Life, I can't wait. I'm gonna book my hotel ASAP. My paycheck is this Friday. I'm gonna throw some money down. So with that said, Ka, with all that out of the way, that's been the show this week. So much news. Yeah. So much conversation. Can I be honest with you? Real talk?
Yeah.
We crushed it.
100% we did. I feel real good about this.
I felt really good. Guys, do you agree? Like, I felt really good.
I felt real good about it. It was a banger of a show.
You know what? I'll allow it because it was really good. And when you said Liam, not related to Croft, I was like, wow, bravo. Bravo. Flowers.
Thank you. I was wondering if you caught that.
Oh, I was shocked. You should have seen my mouth.
I was too busy reading over here, so I couldn't tell.
I was very proud. All right, Kyle, listen. Is there anything you'd like to spotlight before we head on out of here, sir?
Sure, I'd like to spotlight myself, Mr. K-Step on Twitter, PSN, all that jazz. Go follow all the indie game coverage that I do over at 61indie.com. That's SIXONEINDIE, 61IndieCast, wherever you listen to podcast services. I mentioned it earlier, starting this week on Thursdays leading up to God of War Ragnarok. Same day that this show releases, I am going to be on the road to Ragnarok with our good friend Kevin Diaz over at PS Source Vids. Every single week, we're going to deep dive into some God of War goodness like Joe did with him and Forbidden West. The first episode is talk about my history with God of War and what it means to me, and us just theorizing about what this game is going to be, and I'm very excited to do that because I cannot wait for Ragnarok.
That's right.
And also just go check out the video game trivia battle that we're about to do. Joe and I in a battle of PlayStation trivia.
You're gonna crush me. I suck at trivia. I hate on the spot questions.
I don't know about that. I've done this with Jacob once before. YouTube.com/Jacob McCourt. By the way, you can watch it. Where I lost to Lily, formerly of 6-1. Now she works at Nintendo. And it was a fun time, but I felt real dumb at that point. So you have a shot.
Nah,
you have a shot.
Again, I suck at trivia. I'm awful at it. I can't do it. I get nervous and anxious, and my brain is made of farts. I can't do it. You can find me over at Mr. Badbit. You can find this show over at PS Trophy Room on Twitter. You can help support the show over at patreon.com/PS Trophy Room. Again, even if it's $1 our way, it really does help us out. We just hired an animator and an artist for a big project coming in a few months. I can't wait. And then some really big things that I have to talk to Kyle about off air. It's going to be pretty nuts, and it's all powered by your generosity.
Boy.
Over at patreon.com/PS Trophy Room. And again, please rate us on iTunes, on Spotify, 5 stars. It really does help us out. As of recording, we are the second most popular PlayStation podcast when you search up PlayStation on Spotify. And that's because of your reviews over at Spotify. So rate us 5 stars. It really does help us out. And on iTunes as well. It really helps us out there. So with all that said, and with all that out of the way, everybody, we love you. Keep it what's about you. Keep hunting and keep playing PlayStation. See you guys.
I love you.